It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. We back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wizard Deals, man. He keeps you lit, man. Let's keep it rolling. Man, y'all know, subscribe, take a screenshot, send it to Everyday Thing with PJ to enter to win a 15K giveaway, man. Let's get to 15K subscribers, man. So hit that like button, and hit that notification button. Man, y'all click the links down below in the description, man. Let's get into it. Stephen A. responds to the Katt Williams and Shannon Sharpe interview. Now, a lot of people are talking about Katt or Stephen A. and want to know what he has to say. Why? Because he's a friend of Shannon Sharpe. They have a TV show together. Also, he's a friend with a lot of the comedians, such as Steve Harvey. You know, he's Kevin Hart. They've gone back and forth. You know, it's a lot of the comedians that he's cool with, like Jamie Foxx. Remember, Jamie Foxx loves doing the Stephen A. impersonation. So let's get into Stephen A. and let's react to what he had to say.
Because I don't know why everybody has wanted me to comment about Shannon Sharpe and his interview with Katt Williams. But I'm going to say this. You wanted me to comment about it? I'll comment about it. Before I say this, however, let me say, no matter what way you slice it, you have to give Shannon Sharpe and his team major props. The views for the Katt Williams interview has exceeded over 34 million.
Yeah, and it's currently at 42. That joint was lit.
34 million, ladies and gentlemen. It's broke the internet. And in one day, because of one interview that has spanned over the last few days, Club Shay Shay for Shannon Sharpe has picked up over 600,000 subscribers.
760,000 subscribers to be exact.
It's just big time. It's just big time. So props to Shannon Sharpe and his team on that point. Now, to get into the interview itself, let me say this. Before I say anything else, it's important to know I cringed. Through no fault of Shannon. I'm a huge fan of Katt Williams. This brother is a brilliant comedian. He's spectacular. He's box office, no doubt about it. And Katt Williams, he's one of the greatest comedians of all time. And he's always been incredibly nice to me.
I mean, he pretty good. To say he's the greatest, I don't know. He's good though. He fills up the seats, but he's just not my favorite. If I had to put a top 10 up there, Katt Williams probably wouldn't make top 10. Hey, and that's just my opinion. Y'all can like Katt Williams all you like. He's just not my favorite.
On a couple of occasions that I've had the pleasure of meeting him. One time I was hanging out in his green room with him, for crying out loud.
I'm going to tell you why I don't like him. American Pimp, or whatever, Pimpology or Pimp, it was Pimp something. It was not funny. Seeing it live, it wasn't funny. And that was around the time he was going around getting booed and stuff like that. Yeah. Other comics were funny, but not Katt.
No, I was not smoking weed. I stayed off the weed. And I didn't see him do it, even though I'm sure if he did, he wasn't gonna be apologetic about it. That's his business, his dressing room, whatever. Always been cool with Katt Williams. Don't know him that well, but mad respect.
Why'd you have to bring up the weed though? Like, if you didn't see him smoke, why even bring it up that you was in? Whatever, man. Dry snitching.
For him, and mad love for his talent. Steve Harvey is a friend.
See?
Kevin Hart
See?
is a friend.
Total.
Cedric the Entertainer, I don't know nearly as well as I know Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart, although I've interviewed them on quite a few occasions. But I got love for Cedric the Entertainer. And to hear what Katt Williams had to say about them made me cringe. Because when you got...
It made us all cringe, Steven. Made us all cringe. We was sitting over there. Everybody, people was calling, texting me, hey, man, you watch that, Steven? My cousin called me. He was like, hey, bro, turn on that Katt Williams interview. Like, it made everybody cringe. Like, that the world was spinning. Katt Williams, he was on everybody's line that night. He even trended for like 3 hours. Like, I mean, not 3 hours, 3 days.
Comedian that elite coming at you. And he's funny as hell in doing it, but he ain't telling any jokes. He ain't bullshitting, and he's saying what he's saying. It's like, damn. It's an ouch moment. I don't know what truth or falsehoods there is. I don't cover comedy. I know that when it came to, what was he talking about? Some show involving Steve Harvey. When it comes to that, I do know that the Steve Harvey show, because I wrote it down here, was created by Winifred Hervey, not Steve Harvey, and it was directed by Stan Lathan. Winifred Harvey is best known for her work on the television series Golden Girls, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, and Sister Sister. I do know that. Outside of that, I don't know what truth or falsehood exists about anything or anybody. I don't cover comedy. All right? So I'm not in a position to say anything one way or the other.
But bro, to get to the point, like you dragging it on how you know these people, all their accolades and all this. Why do we want to hear what you have to say about this? That's what we want to hear.
I'm just not. Having said all of that, that's not the reason I was willing to touch on this subject. I needed to touch on this subject, not just because
it's a trending topic. You got to get your 2 cents in, get your views up, because you talk. Man, we know the game.
The audience was asking me to. But I needed to touch on this subject once I saw this sound right here from Shannon Sharpe himself on Nightcap, talking his Nightcap show with Chad Ochocinco, talking about his interview with Katt Williams. Listen to this.
Why all you guys said, well, Shannon, you needed a follow-up question with what? I said I didn't ask no follow-up question when said he didn't steal the joke.
Right.
That's not for me to decide. You decide.
Mm-hmm.
You decide who do you agree with. That's not my decision to make. That was it. I never said I was a journalist. I never professed to be a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an entertainer. If you want hard-hitting questions, 60 Minutes is the platform from you.
Right.
Dateline, 48 hours. Go to Lester Holt. Go to somebody that does that.
That is where my problem lied. Shannon Sharpe did not tell a lie. Shannon Sharpe is not a journalist. He's a Hall of Fame football player who's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, arguably the greatest tight end in football, and clearly one of them, who also happens to be an entertainer. He did not tell a lie. But Shannon Sharpe cut himself short. Shannon Sharpe is a voice in our community. He's Unc.
Yeah.
He's conscientious. He's thoughtful. I'm telling you the Shannon Sharpe I've come to know. I've known him for years. But I ain't really know him. I love this brother. I love who he is. I
thought he was going to say, like, you are a journalist. You did do your homework. Somewhat, your team did homework. Then you come in and ask the questions. That's journalistics do. Or journalistics. That's what journalists do. But, you know, you don't have to take on the title, because then it takes away from people who are actually journalists. And they're like, man, you didn't study here. You didn't study at Cambridge. You didn't you didn't write a thesis. You didn't do that. I tell all that. Okay? Shannon Sharpe is an NFL player who got into sports broadcasting because that's a good transition for him, because he played sports all his life. So talking about sports, specifically football, and being able to talk about other sports is a gift. So he did it well. But now he's stepping into interviewing people and having conversations with people. And some of these conversations go in many different ways. Some in politics, some in drama, as we seen with the Katt Williams. Some in, just telling somebody's story. And that's where it comes off kind of journalistic, but it's in a comforting place. If you want the hard-hitting questions, like, did you cheat on your wife? Okay? If you want to get that, then you should go to the 60 Minutes interviews, where they're going to only interview a person like Katt Williams when he's in trouble. They only interview R. Kelly when he's in trouble. But before, when he was making all this great music, nobody cared to interview him. So Shannon Sharpe is doing stuff with people who don't really have anything to sell, aren't looking to get their story out. They're just looking to have a conversation. So, and there's a difference. That's what I thought Stephen A. was gonna say. But this nigga, he dropped the ball.
A hell of a lot of respect for him. And he's kicking ass. Got the #1 podcast on Apple in sports podcast. Got #3 overall podcast for Apple. He doing his damn thing. And this brother's going to continue to be a star in this business for years to come. Remember, you're talking to the dude who went and got him. I went and got him because I knew what he'd bring. Yes, go. First Take on ESPN, #1 morning show. Been #1 for 12 years. And on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, when Shannon ain't there, we still winning. We #1. But it ain't like we winning on Monday and Tuesdays. And I love every single contributor on my show. It's very, very few people on the planet Earth that can look at a show and have more than 10, 11, 12 contributors, and every single thing I've asked them to do, they've all come through. Love my brothers, Ryan Clark, Swagoo, Dan Orlovsky, Mad Dog Russo, Bart Scott, Kendrick Perkins, Jay Williams.
Bruh, Kendrick Perkins was the highlight of your show prior to Shannon Sharpe coming back. Kendrick Perkins always has a hot take. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, man. He spent a lot of time up in OKC, man. So for that, I respect him. I respect his viewpoints either, because he ain't scared of you chumps. Beaumont, Texas, big dog. Woo! He a OG.
Chris Canty, let me not forget him. A new addition to the show. Harry Douglas doing a great job for us when he shows up. Kimberly Martin. Monica McNutt. Mina Kimes. And, of course, great Molly Kiram.
Molly.
The matriarch of the show. Everybody has...
Yo, we not rocking. Is that the Molly from that tried to do LeVar Ball? That better not be that Molly. We ain't respecting her, dog. We ain't respecting her.
Done an outstanding job. Shannon's been off the charts. Shannon's been off the charts. And I knew how this industry would be. How they would go and try to blackball his ass. When he was let go by FS1. And make no mistake, that's what happened. That's it.
Yeah, and they was trying to take Club Shay Shay from him because they owned the rights. Somehow or another in his contract, they had rights to Club Shay Shay, but he ended up getting it back, and look what he did. I know Fox Sports is punching the air right now because of that, man. They lost out on a gold mine. Oh, you want? Yeah, we'll see.
his business to tell, but he was pushed out. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I remember when I got pushed out in 2009. I wasn't going to let that happen to this brother because he's too gifted, he's too talented. He's too significant to our community. That's why I'm bringing all of this up. It's not about me. This is his day. He's the one that got the Katt Williams interview. He's the one that sat down and talked to him. He did all of that. He's the one that got 34 million plus people looking at this interview, broke the damn internet. It's going to get larger, by the way. I think they're going to reach about 50.
It got to 42, and this is, 2 days ago, and it's at 42, so that's 8 million. It's going to definitely hit 50 by the end of the month.
50 million. It's one of, if not, at the end, I believe at the end of it all, it will be, in terms of strictly numbers, the most significant podcast episode in history. It'll eclipse what Joe Rogan once did. It will eclipse what others have done. Because Katt Williams turned it out. Shit, he talked for 30 minutes before Shannon asked the question. He came there to say what he said. And to agree or disagree, that's for all of them to handle. Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Mark Curry, Tiffany Haddish, whoever else he talked about. That's for them. Tyler Perry, that's for them to handle. Because I don't know those facts. I don't cover that. And I've never, ever had a conversation with any of them about Katt Williams or vice versa. Ain't my place. But what I can speak to is Shannon limiting himself to being just an entertainer. He is not. He's more than that. He's a voice. And when he called himself an entertainer, that took me aback. Because I know he's not. This brother knows football inside and out. He teaches me football every day. Just listen to him talking. Just so you, he knows it backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But he's a conscientious brother who cares about a lot of different issues. And when he speaks on it, he attacks it with fervor and vigor. He is to be respected and appreciated in ways that most people, quite frankly, haven't done enough of. And so my only words to him is that, nah, bro, you a voice. You ain't just an entertainer. You don't ever want to give the impression that, you know what? You just say what you want because I'm not a journalist. You don't have to be a journalist. All you need to do is be you and be that conscientious observer that you are. Now, there's a lot of people out there that's going to criticize him and they're going to talk about, well, he didn't do follow-up or he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Stop that, you jealous asses. Stop it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Stephen A, man. I get it. I get what he's saying. But then at the same time, he's a voice that we need to hear. You know, he's a conversationalist. He gives wonderful interviews. Every one of his interviews have been impeccable. So I get it. I get what Stephen A is saying. So yeah, Shannon, don't limit yourself. Again, YouTubers, anybody out there watching this, don't limit yourself. You know, if you putting on for the city, you'll be like, oh, I'm just a one mother who's just cleaning up the community, helping out the kids. Nah, you an impact to a lot of these kids. If they come in and they be happy to see you, you know, if they in trouble and they call you first, you're an impact. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. After this interview, Katt's phone probably hasn't stopped ringing. Then he went to go do Willie D's podcast. Willie D's podcast turned up. It didn't turn up as much, but it was still a great interview because he tried to take it in a different way than just where it all had already went, because it would have been like kind of piggybacking and copycatting what just happened. So he had to reach in a different bag, and it was good because Katt Williams was down in Houston on tour, and he stopped in, and we heard about the beef with Al Sadiq, which Katt Williams say is fake. And I get it. It probably is fake. But, you know, somebody feels some way, you know. And the security probably did say, Katt Williams said you're not performing. And that's what he took it as if he was dissing him. But in all reality, it was Katt Williams already had it, people. Why would he invite you to this thing? That's what Katt Williams was saying. So that's, you know, those are things we got to take into account of. Man, shout out to my everyday people, man. Let me know what y'all think about Stephen A's. Sharpe is more than just an entertainer. He's a voice, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in its